Hi everybody, Kat here. Welcome to my channel. Hope you're having a great day. Well, here we are, just a few weeks away from the Queen's Platinum Jubilee, and there's a lot to look forward to, a lot to look back on, and some things to think about going forward. The Queen has been on the throne longer than any other monarch in history. Over her period of time, there has been 15 British prime ministers that have served under her, and over 170 across time in all of her realms. She's been front and center for everything that's been going on since that day she had her coronation. 25 years old, a young lady, and she has built the Commonwealth. She has been an advisor to all these world leaders. She knows them all. She's front and center with everything that's been happening. And we're coming up to the time where we can celebrate that and celebrate her time of her reign. And it's kind of too bad. There's a lot of scandal and intrigue and behind the scenes scuttlebutt going on that's kind of sullying the whole thought of her jubilee. We're up in the air. We don't know how it's going to work out. Andrew wants to be front and center, no doubt. And as well, he wants his daughters to be front and center of their generation. They are the only blood princesses of the royal family, although they've not done a whole lot of royal duties. They are major players as far as the individuals go. Andrew wants to be a big part of that. Of course, there's a lot of things surrounding his activities over the years that put him in bad favor, really, with the public. We've got Harry and Meghan, who are just, one scandal after another. They can't be trusted. Given the chance, there'd be no way Meghan would refuse a balcony shot. That's money in the bank as far as her Netflix scheme is going on. But the thing is, nobody really wants them there. There's a lot of bad blood within the family. The public has turned against them, especially in Britain. So them showing up if they showed up and they were making sure they were front and center and Netflix and this and that, it would just turn into the Meghan and Harry Roadshow all over again, and nobody wants that. And, you gotta kind of sympathize with the Queen. She's done all this work. She's put everything else aside and dealt with countless things over the years, over 70 years. And wouldn't it be nice for one day if her family could all get along and they could be on the balcony together? Just keep your mouth shut, smile, and just let me enjoy this moment. Let me enjoy the legacy I've built. But, she, let the Queen have her day. I don't know if that's going to happen. We don't know if Harry and Meghan are going to show up. We don't know if Andrew's going to be there. We don't know what kind of infighting is going to come from all of that. Thomas Markle has said that he's going to England for the Jubilee. he'll be there as a spectator, as a, you know, he's not going to get anywhere near the royal family. I imagine he may try to do an interview while he's over there, like he has done with some British press before, and that's, that's fine. He's been much maligned by Meghan and bad publicity, and I think he has a right to speak his mind and get his word out there. Nothing wrong with that, but I don't think he's gonna really get the result he wants by going there because it's a tough road. Um, and of course, Meghan and Harry, no doubt, if Thomas does do an interview or is a little more vocal, they'll of course have to counterpunch with that. So everybody's in a real tough spot about that one. And then we've got Andrew, who any ceremonial occasion, he wants to be front and center. He wants to be beside the Queen. His reputation isn't too good right now, and his popularity is plummeted. People don't want to be reminded about what they've heard about him over the last while. It's not good. So we want to celebrate the Queen. This is what we want, but there's so much damned infighting going on that who knows what's to happen. And then there's Charles himself. He has been very vocal about wanting a slimmed down monarchy. He really wants to only showcase himself and William and Kate and the kids, the progression of the monarchy, the core players. That's kind of how he wants to do things. And nobody else is in agreement. Maybe the Queen is. Nobody else really is. They'd all like their place front and center. So looking at that, I mean, that's what we've got facing us with the Jubilee, and we're all just crossing our fingers and hoping that everything goes well on the balcony, because that photograph on the balcony may be the Queen's last balcony photograph. I mean, let's get real. She's up there, and how many occasions are you going to have the whole family gathered on the balcony? So that's one that's going to go down in the history books, and she's a monarch that's going to be talked about for the next 1,000 years. Longest reign in British history. But even after all that, and given the fullness of time, Charles will ascend to the throne. Now, what happens after that? Over the years, his reputation has gotten better. Right after Diana and all of that, his popularity plummeted, but it's gotten better. And over the years, a lot of the public is more accepting of Camilla. But there's still a lot of people that remember what went on that'll never respect her. There's a lot of people that just really, they'd rather he not be king. They would opt for a newer, younger monarchy. If you could skip a generation and put William and Kate and the kids in there, that would keep it young and fresh and vibrant. I mean, look at it. Charles is already 70 years old. We don't know how much longer the Queen's going to reign. We don't know how long Charles would reign, but we're looking at the next 20, 30 years of an old man, which puts William at quite a senior stage when he would ascend the throne. Now, you know, over the years, there's been popularity polls and this and that, and what do you think, and do you still want to remain a subject of the monarchy, that kind of thing. And we've seen in some countries recently where they have opted to remove the Queen as their head of state. Uh, and in a lot of countries, people are looking at the transition between Queen Elizabeth, whom they've loved and respected and revered over her reign, to Charles. And, you know, they're not going to have the same level of respect or reverence for him as they did for his mother. Even here in Canada, a recent poll about, should the monarchy go forward after the Queen's reign, and over 51% said no. And we've always been a stalwart Commonwealth country here. But we've always had our group of people that would rather we not have a monarchy. But it's growing, and the numbers even increase after her reign. How many people are interested in having Charles reign, and they would rather we leave the monarchy, we remove her as head of state here. So, a lot of people, they love and respected what she has done, but they're really not looking forward to Charles and Camilla. And even though over the years they've worked very hard to rehabilitate Camilla's reputation, and a lot of people have come around. I mean, they look at the situation. One thing I've heard a lot is, okay, well, they met when they were very young. She was deemed unacceptable, but they still had this love there, no matter Diana or not. That never ended. And isn't it a love story? After all these years, they're together and they're good for each other, and isn't that just great? But, they're not without their flaws. They ruined a fairy tale. They made Diana's life miserable. What happened to her is, almost the stuff of she's been turned into a legend because of it. And there's a lot of people that aren't going to forget that. There's a lot of people that'll never forgive Camilla and don't want to see her as queen. So overall, Charles and Camilla's reign might be a little bit tainted that way. And, of course, we still have the problems we have now. The problems with Andrew. I don't think they're ever going to go away. And there's a little bit of a chance. I mean, it's slim, but things could get worse for him. If you go back and look at my video, another one, it's concerning Andrew and his relationship with Peter Nygard, who around the same time as Epstein was a buddy of Andrew's as well, and up to the same kind of stuff. We can almost, he had one bad friend and got mixed up in a bad situation. But two, there's another one. So you've still got that hanging over your head. Peter Nygard is facing charges. He's right now in New York in jail. The prosecutors that handled the Dufresne case, where Andrew ended up paying her off the prosecutors in that case are the same ones handling Nygaard's similar charges in New York right now. So, um, there is a wee chance that Andrew's name could pop up in that one, his association with him, which would only make things worse. But even as they stand now, his reputation is, I don't know, beyond repair. Charles has to deal with that. And with Andrew always jostling into position, trying to get front and center, Charles has to deal with that. Worse yet, the ongoing saga of Meghan and Harry, that'll just never end. I don't think they'll ever be satisfied or get everything they want. That'll be, and especially it's his son. Like it's just so sad the way things have turned out. Everybody's sort of warring against each other. I'm sure Charles will have William's support, but they may not always agree on everything. So I mean tension from every which way. And so I don't think it would make Charles's reign a pleasant one unless something's done. And a lot of us have asked recently, like, why has the Queen not done anything up to this point? She could take the titles away. She could strip them of everything. She could really put her foot down, make a statement, take them off the royal website, take Harry out as a counselor of state, remove the children from the line of succession. There's a lot of things that a lot of us think the Queen could do, yet she hasn't, and we wonder why. And I have a couple thoughts on this. The Queen is always kind of don't explain, don't complain, and she really doesn't act unless she absolutely has to, especially in matters where the family is concerned, unless it gets to a point where, she has to do something. She doesn't actively intervene. And I kind of think that she was hoping things with Harry and Meghan would settle down, they'd find their footing. They've been very accommodating to them as far as I'm concerned, but nothing's ever good enough. You give them an inch, they want a mile. And, I think coming to the closing years of her reign, she doesn't want to be like, one of the final big things she does is like toss them out of the family and remove all their titles, remove all their, that's big drama. And I think she'd rather like to avoid it if possible and seek some kind of other softer resolution. On the other hand, there's been some chatter in Parliament in Britain about removing their titles, removing Harry, as Counselor of State, making some moves. And this is another thing I think the Queen's sort of been waiting on. You see, if the government makes an action like that and puts it to her, then she pretty much has to agree with it. And perhaps she's thinking it would look better if the government made this decision and she could say, well, couldn't do anything about it. I had to go along with this is what they want. Rather than her doing it directly, I kind of think that's what's happened and why action hasn't been taken as of yet. So, we still have to see what happens there. There's a lot of things up in the air. William and Kate, they're working hard, they're going with the flow, they're doing everything they can, and they're doing it well. And I think most of the country, most of the world would prefer if they step in and take that role. But the way things are right now, I think that's unlikely. So we just have to go forward and see what happens. No doubt there's going to be lots of drama. There's going to be lots of intrigue and lots of scuttlebutt. So we're just looking forward to the Queen's Jubilee and a wild ride after that. Have a good day, everybody. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.